There's no single killer feature or gimmick with the X20-R from AceBeam, just a stellar performance in a compact package. But what it does have that's unique is a clever mode switching system that means you won't need to learn a complex menu just to access your favourite features. I'm James, you're watching Earthwise Survivor, where I review prepper gadgets so you know what's worth buying, thoughts on collapse, and how to survive and thrive in a more eco-conscious way. This is the AceBeam X20-R, a perfectly functional flashlight that doesn't do gimmicks. AceBeam's managed to pack 8,000 lumens into something that fits in the palm of your hands, and rather than the standard complex UI menu system, they added a two-stage switch on the back, plus physical mode toggle on the side with 3 different modes. More on that later. This is the 8SFT-25R HI version, so 8,000 lumens with a tighter hotspot, 645 meter rated throw, and just over 100,000 candela. But in the same body, you can get a floodier and brighter 10,000 lumen with 8 Luxion HL4X instead, 404 meters throw. As you can see, we're looking at the desert version, but there's also a black and green version available. Today, I'll explain how this beast works, what's great about it, and if you should get it. The X20 retails at $150, link in the comments. Okay, let's break it down. So on the base, we've got a 2-stage tail switch, so you can half press it momentarily or click it all the way in, or you can just hold it down. There's also a mechanical switch that moves between 3 different modes on the side here, and if that's not enough, the flashlight's UI behaves differently depending on which mode you're in. And there's a mechanical lockout on the base as well. It's a really ingenious design that lets you quickly access the needed features depending on the situation, and you can ignore all the other fluff. You won't have to cycle through endless modes. So let's talk about those modes and that little switch, because this is the unique feature I think I love. From left to right, you've got tactical, emergency, and duty. Tactical is probably my favorite because it just does 2 things, strobe and blinding. A momentary press does full-on turbo mode, and a full click down does strobe. Now, both of those are only momentary up to 5 seconds, by which I don't mean it turns off after 5 seconds, I mean it locks after 5 seconds. So you can tap briefly, but if you keep it held down for 5 seconds, you'll then activate it until tapped off again. Mostly simple, brilliant, and the iconography on the switch lets you know exactly what you should expect from that mode. There we go, that's locked on. In the middle is emergency mode. So this is the mode you want if you need to either preserve power or because you're trying to be found in an emergency situation. On the half press, you have a moonlight low power, you probably can't even see that, constant on light for getting around and preserving power when you need it. A half press can either be momentary or just turn it on, while a full press will switch on to a bright SOS signal. Yeah, that's bright. Lastly, you have duty mode, and this is your sort of standard everyday use mode. So a momentary half press gives you a brief light of whatever the last brightness was that you used, while a full click just turns it on. And then once it's on, the half press cycles through the brightness of 5 different levels. Again, it has a mode memory, so if you leave it on a particular brightness, then turn it back on again, it'll be on that. Now, I really like this mode system. It could be really handy. It's certainly easier to understand than the standard system of sort of triple clicks for turbo or double clicks for strobe. And I know some people really don't like those. They find them gimmicky, so separating those onto their own mode is nice. On the other hand, personally, I quite like to use a low mode by default. Maybe not moonlight levels of low, but certainly not turbo mode. But I also want quick access to strobe if I was attacked by, well, honestly, around here, it's more likely to be a marauding feral sheep, but you get my point. Do have a think about your use case, because it's quite a departure from the usual UI. If you have a particular favorite brightness, for instance, you won't be able to go from there quickly over to a strobe. So some quick stats. In turbo mode, you get 10,000 lumens for 50 seconds, then it steps down to 2,400 lumens for over an hour. Then it drops again to 170 lumens for the final stretch. Strobe is 3,000 lumens and somehow runs for 3 hours. Now, moving on to other aspects of the design, it's an eminently grabbable, slim body, about the height of a Coke can, charges through a USB port that's directly on the side here. And inside, you have 2 18650 batteries side by side. It's IP65 rated with a 1.5 meter impact resistance. It comes with a good quality nylon padded case and includes a wrist strap. Now, on the head, you have a strike bezel, though it doesn't have a lot of weight behind it, so any force is going to have to come from you. And on the base, there's a guard around the button here, along with some holes for the strap. And it happens to be flat, so it can actually lay flat upright, just about. I wouldn't wobble it too much. Around the head also is, not sure what I would call this pattern, but a series of indents, meaning it also won't roll when it's laid flat on the side either. And one last neat design feature, there's a glow-in-the-dark ring just inside the head. So, is the X20-R the brightest flashlight I've tested? No. This would be a brilliant glove box or kit bag light for campers, or for that friend of yours that insists he's not prepping, he's just being cautious. The X20-R is one of the most compact, high output lights around. It's genuinely versatile once you get used to that mode toggle switch, and assuming it works for your use case. It's built like a tank, but easily grabbable and comfortable to hold, and it is absolutely ready for the apocalypse. If you can survive the UI learning curve, the X20-R, I think, will serve you well. I'm James, you've been watching EarthwiseSurvivor.com. Link in the comments to buy this one. Hit like if this saved you 40 minutes of swearing at your new torch because you couldn't figure out the menu system, and subscribe for more honest reviews, survival gear, and mildly aggressive British sarcasm. Until next time, stay safe.